Welcome to episode 19 of the Real Talk Lineup. We are your go-to podcast for hilarious hot takes on the latest in pop culture. I'm your host, JoJo.
I'm Ronnie Cole.
And our podcast buddy, Don, is here
Hi,
again.
Don.
Podcast buddy.
Yes.
That's the official name for this for me?
I think it might be.
I like it.
I keep thinking it sounds like something you'd buy at Bed Bath & Beyond, Don, the rotating podcast buddy.
So awesome.
Yep, sure. Hi there. Nice to see you again.
Do you use it in the bed or the bath?
Yes,
Or
batteries.
beyond?
Depends on what kind of day you had.
I will tell you that supercharged batteries are included. Right, exactly.
all right.
Fancy.
Oh, my goodness. On this week's episode, the drugs made Diddy do it. Draft day drama
Ooh.
and climbing Mount Fuji for your phone.
What?
You'll find out later on in the show.
Fiji.
It's all this and more up next on the Real Talk Lineup.
They have to be following him every moment of the day.
J-Lo getting divorced?
He still contributed to society.
I think maybe marijuana.
That is not obvious. How did that happen?
I would be too afraid, but sometimes I'm like, man, I need a little boost.
Okay, on this week's Celebrity Breakdown, there was a Beehive brawl.
What?
Yep, after Beyonce's first Cowboy Carter concert at SoFi Stadium, chaos broke out in the VIP lounge when a group of fans dressed in cowboy gear got into a wild brawl. The fight reportedly started over a knocked-off cowboy hat and quickly escalated into pushing, shoving, and boot kicking. Thankfully, the melee didn't interrupt the show, which had already wrapped up after a 3-hour performance.
Shit kicking and boot kicking at the same time.
Did you guys
Yes,
see the
they-
video? Did you?
I did.
It,
There was
that
video
fight,
in this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That fight started long before that hat got knocked off that lady.
oh my goodness! It was like a bunch of really big ladies dressed in these.
They were huge, and they all looked older.
They
like
did.
older than me. And I'm
Yeah,
just
like in their 50s or
why
something.
are y'all fighting in this establishment?
Because they
Like a
know
bunch
how
of-
to. They've seen the old westerns. They know what to do.
Everybody's dressed
She was
dressed
like-
for success.
One of them's looking for those swinging doors to throw somebody through out
Oh
into the
my
street.
God.
Listen,
So,
it was an all-out
So-
brawl.
It was. And like, I don't understand why people are so easily triggered. Because like, if I had just watched the New Kids on the Block perform live for 3 hours.
had to
and
get a New Kids
yes,
reference in there, didn't
Of
you?
and,
course.
and somebody knocked off my Donnie Wahlberg hat, I would just pick it up and keep on moving. Because
Well,
I would be happy.
That's you. That is you.
Yeah, but
Apparently, Beyonce brings out the beast in these older ladies.
That's right. Beyonce,
They were ready to
NWA show. What's the difference?
What's
my
the
God.
difference?
What's the difference? Seriously.
are either of you Beyonce fans?
I am a Beyonce pre-Lemonade album
There you go.
fan.
Yep.
Me too.
After
Yeah.
that, when she was smashing the car in that video, it's a different person now. I
Okay.
don't like her anymore.
She takes herself too seriously these days, I think, and that's when I kind of lost it during that period. When she's pregnant and she's doing the Grammy Awards show and she's leaning back in the chair and this, how artistic. You know how long that got me. You know how long that song went on before she even sang a note, and it's just like, give me a break.
I vaguely remember that performance, but I remember it because I remember at the end she showed her baby bump, but like I don't remember really anything before that.
It was all this music and all this interpretive dancing and
Okay.
whatever it was leading up to it. And it was just like, oh, that's not why we're here.
You know what I noticed though? Anytime she is performing, it always looks like a fan is blowing her hair.
Always, because it always is.
Oh my God.
Because she's like a superstar.
Oh,
They
okay.
pay a little guy to run around with it. So, yeah, when you get to a certain point in life, you've got that.
Hey, little Eddie, come over here at the fan.
I'm thinking
Right here.
Probably the women. Come to think of it, the women that were fighting at the event. Probably more like you. Too much country, not enough single ladies.
Yes, exactly.
And Cowboy
All the
Carter tour.
stories. Yeah.
Black
I don't
Dolly
hear
Parton.
that.
It doesn't go over. It doesn't go over.
It does not. I don't like. Yeah, I'm not.
You're losing sight of who you are, I think.
JoJo, are you a Beyonce fan?
I am like you. I'm a pre-Lemonade Beyonce
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Irreplaceable and
Yes.
all that other stuff, that old stuff.
I love
Quality
the,
music.
Crazy in Love.
Yes.
A Naughty Girl, things
And
like that.
Dangerously
Yeah.
in Love, that
Yes.
whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything after she bust those windows out that car on that video. It's all downhill
Yeah.
for me.
I'm biased because I met her when she was a kid. I met her when she was with Destiny's Child. Yeah, they came and did a show for my radio station at the time, and they were.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, I got to meet all three of them. They're talking about boys and the whole thing. It was very cute, and then lemonade. It's like
Yeah.
It changed. I don't like it.
Don't be a bitch. Just take it to the floor now. I'm done with that.
All right.
Enough of that.
Okay, moving on. Kim K's jewelry, because who needs therapy when you've got a $10 million necklace?
I say that every day.
Kim K is making a bold statement nearly a decade after her traumatic 2016 Paris robbery, where she was bound and robbed of $10 million in jewelry.
God, that was 9 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. The
Jeez.
trial of the accused grandpa robbers has just begun, and Kim is expected to testify in
named
Paris.
it that?
I don't know who named it that, but they were old people. So
I did not hear that in the press at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I think JoJo's making
This is
stuff
new.
up.
I'm not. All right.
It's new.
Though she vowed to avoid flaunting flashy jewelry after the incident, she recently made a subtle return to wearing high-end pieces at selected events. Her latest social media post featuring bold jewelry is being seen as a symbolic screw you to her robbers as she is reclaiming her power.
Those grandpas don't give a damn about her jewelry right now.
No, so listen. One of the grandpa robbers, Eunice Abbas, he's 71 years old. He wrote a book called I Kidnapped Kim Kardashian.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, stop.
So, like, why are we even going to trial at this point?
He thinks he's OJ because OJ did that.
Yeah.
He did that. What if I did it book? I remember he put out.
Yeah.
But she's like, screw you to these people, basically fuck you to these people.
Yeah.
It's okay to swear on the show. No, that's not the way to do it.
No,
To
it's
wear
not.
the key is to wear expensive looking jewelry.
Yes.
This
yes.
way, when they rob it and they go to try to actually get money for
Precisely.
it, they're like, ah,
Joke's on you.
Yeah. So no, like
this is not the way to get back at people.
Right.
I'm wearing $10 million jewelry and, I'm going to show that I'm strong again. I'm like, well, they did it once. They could do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, I've always been a believer, like, you should not show out any of the, like, expensive things that you
don't
have.
be all
Right.
flashy.
Because it makes you a target. Mm-hmm. So,
The only thing you can't get away with not showing out if you decide to get a nice house, a big house or something like that. But again, gated community or, behind a gate, don't be showing that too much. Because people wonder why they get robbed.
yes.
And I'm like, why are you so surprised?
Yeah.
You're on that reality show. They're seeing it every week.
Yeah. The 71-year-old guy that wrote the book, the guy that kidnapped her,
Yeah.
he said that when he fled the scene of the robbery, he was on a bicycle
Oh, my God.
and he fell and dropped a bag of jewelry.
It'd be funny if he was on a Segway.
Yeah, so he said that he left behind a $24,000 diamond necklace on the street, and a lady or a pedestrian found it and reportedly wore it all day at work that day because they didn't know that.
I probably would have too.
Yeah, they didn't know it was stolen. Of course, once they found out what happened, like they returned it to the police.
How
but
does he know the worth of it? They told him after?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah.
But that's not.
I don't
If
think
Kimmy
they
wants
did
to
it.
get back at them, it's wear the cheap jewelry. No one can tell the difference.
No.
They can't tell the difference between the real one and the fake one.
They don't.
Most of those people
They
can't
don't
tell the
know.
difference
And they
between
don't
somebody
care.
who has talent and who doesn't. That's why they watch Kimmy.
Oh.
So,
But I
Well.
I saw her on my next guest needs no
Letterman,
introduction with David Letterman, and she was really traumatized by like the whole incident. Like
Was
she
she?
was,
Oh,
yeah,
very
she
much
was
so.
crying,
Yeah.
and this was she was telling this years later after it had happened,
Really?
and it really affected her. I mean.
I think Kanye set it all up. That's just a conspiracy that
I would
from
be surprised.
day one, Kanye did it to scare her.
What would be the end game for that one?
Because it's Kanye. Why is there ever any
Oh, okay.
reason why he does the
Yeah,
things
he's
he does?
mentally unstable. Doesn't have to be a reason.
That would make him super asshole
Mm-hmm.
because he's also on that same episode that she's talking about, because I saw it too.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting in the audience with that concerned look on his face. Was him and the sisters
Phony
were all, and
baloney.
mom was there.
Yeah.
So
I wholeheartedly believe that it might have traumatized her. Yes.
I
But
felt- I
don't
actually
think
felt
it was
sorry
a
for her when I
rant.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt sorry for her
I did too when it happened,
Yeah.
but I always felt like he knew that it was gonna happen. Like
wouldn't
he
be
set it
surprised.
up.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
It was such a weird occurrence. Like, it was really weird. It was traumatic for her, but it was just.
What's a lesson learned when you go overseas? You know, it's a lot more of the
That's a
Wild
whole
West
nother-
out there. People talk about how bad it is over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot less regulated and dealt with over there. She's lucky that she's a celebrity. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given a crap about some rich lady lost a whole bunch of stuff and came out of it alive.
Oh, yeah. You can't do nothing over here in America anymore.
Nothing. Everybody's offended. Everything's illegal.
No, Trump's going to send you to prison.
Yeah.
In a foreign country. So
Before the trial.
the homegrown criminals.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, moving on. Diddy's lawyers say the drugs made him do it. Diddy's legal team is planning to argue that he may not have had full mental capacity when committing the alleged crimes due to being under the influence of drugs and alcohol. However, prosecutors are pushing back, saying this argument is irrelevant and legally insufficient. They also want to block testimony from a video expert regarding the Cassie Hotel incident, though the footage has already been approved as evidence. The judge hasn't made a final decision yet, and the trial begins next week.
Yeah, and?
So...
Because I got high.
Yeah.
Because I got high.
Yeah.
That is literally all I hear.
That's not a good defense.
So
it's not.
It's like
the
okay,
worst one,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it's maybe for a one-hit wonder hit song, but not a defense.
It's like saying you can't charge me with a DUI because I was drunk.
Because I was drunk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, all it tells me is he's careless.
Yeah.
Because he was too stupid to do all this stuff in front of other people and in front of cameras and all.
Yeah.
He was too stupid. If he was going to do this stuff, don't let anybody catch you.
Yeah.
And make people actually make it, and I'm not advocating any of this, just trust me. But, if you're going to be stupid enough to do it in the first place, it should be her word against mine.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, his word against mine, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. The
know.
diddler.
And he's obviously like in a really, really bad position if his lawyers are trying to reach
No
that
pun
far.
intended.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Sorry, the story writes itself. The jokes write itself. He's too drunk to check ID. He's too drunk to allegedly abuse. Too drunk to allegedly sex traffic. Drunk to allegedly groom or assault these people.
Yes.
And he's too drunk not to dance in the videos. And that's a different thing. But anyway, too drunk not to learn how to rap. So it kind of falls into the criminal thing after a while. But this guy, I went online and saw all the charges. I went back and I'm like, because they come out so sporadically.
Yeah.
You don't.
And there
it's
are
hard
so
to,
many of them.
when you put them in a list, I read the article. The article was page after page. I had to stop. I had to come here. So that was, so many things, including he went after, he beat up some woman who accused him of being responsible for Tupac's killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tupac's involved now?
I read that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one. That was the one I hadn't heard.
I have the actual indictment against him. Like they're charging him with, RICO.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he can go to prison.
About the size of War and Peace, the novel.
Yeah. I mean, the indictment's pretty long.
Yeah. That's crazy. But
it's crazy.
The answer to all of it is that the drugs made him do it.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's kind of like saying,
Cop out.
no, I didn't beat her up because I was out robbing the store. It's like
Right.
one
Exactly.
crime for the other. It's like, okay, I was doing illegal drugs, so
Right.
don't blame me for this.
Don't blame me for this.
And I want to know,
'Cause
like,
I was high.
okay, so they're trying to block the testimony from a video expert. Like, what do they really even need a video expert for? Like, the video shows him plain as day beating this girl up.
What is there to assess?
Yeah.
I don't know why they
Haven't seen
even
the video.
tried to.
God, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. That's okay, Don.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why they would ever even think that considering not using it would be a thing.
Not using what?
The video.
The video. Oh, yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see the video. We haven't seen the video, right? That something been made
Oh,
public.
yeah, the video that where he was beating up
chasing her
Cassie.
hallway in
Is
the
it
hotel.
clear? Is it a clear
Very.
video?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because some of those cameras are old and
No, it's him.
It's okay.
It's definitely
Well, then,
him.
yeah, if you can clearly see it's him, and everybody who's seen some of his bad videos knows it's him.
Yeah.
Then there's no.
And then he went on social media apologizing about the incident.
For it
so
happening.
You
Yep.
don't apologize for something you didn't do.
Right. So
He forgot because he was high.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My goodness.
This is where you have to come up
It's
with
the drugs.
this is where you have to come up with that. Once you've apologized.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we do now? You just fucked yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
So now we need to come up with something stupid.
Exactly.
He's going down. Like, he's probably going to be in
For
prison
sure.
for the rest
Pardon
of his
There's
life.
nothing he
there.
could do or say. It's going down.
Yeah, it's going
Going
down.
Going down.
He'll get him a boyfriend.
He already has one. I'm
Apparently,
sure.
he doesn't have a problem doing that. That's why he's in this trouble in the first
That's
place.
what I'm saying. So when he's in prison, he'll have a boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's seen the other
I'm
side
sure
of it
he
now.
I'm sure he has a few prospects.
Yeah.
Already lined up.
That's right. Don't you know who I am? You know one of those?
The Diddy love.
That's right. They may need to put him, especially after the trial happens, they may need to put him in some sort of security, maximum
Protection.
security, because, there are fans of there are fans of Tupac that don't like him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
So
I
I'm
didn't
sure.
even consider that.
Yeah.
Are you saying Tupac fans are prisoners? Like,
It was Tupac and Biggie, man. Yeah. No, I'm not saying.
Well.
I'm not saying it at all. People in prisons don't listen to podcasts, do they? Okay.
not our podcast.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Only law-abiding citizens listen
Yeah,
to
That's
Right.
it. That's it.
us. Okay.
All right. Draft day drama. Shedeur Sanders, who was eventually drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, was the target of a cruel prank call during a live stream draft event. Someone impersonating New Orleans Saints GM Mickey Loomis called Sanders on a private number only shared with NFL teams, falsely claiming the Saints would draft him next, only to say moments later that he'd have to wait a little longer. The call caused confusion, and Sanders realized something was wrong since the number was meant to be confidential. An NFL investigation traced the prank call back to Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. Jax had found Sanders' number on an open iPad at his parents' house and used it for a prank without his father's knowledge. The Falcons issued an apology, confirmed Jeff Ulbrich had no involvement, and stated they would review their protocols. Jax has also publicly apologized, calling his actions inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. The NFL considers the matter serious enough to investigate, given the sensitive nature of draft communications and the emotional impact on Sanders during a pivotal career moment. So I love a good prank phone call. But
Me too.
this was just
You cannot
way
play like
too
that.
far.
That's not right.
And like all I do is like
It's not funny, Don.
I picture.
I got a little backstory. You might find it a little funnier in a minute. I'm adjusting the microphone.
Okay.
You might find it a little funnier in a minute, but go ahead.
No, all I picture is like this entitled little like brat sitting in his dorm room, like trying to impress his friends, making a prank phone call, and it irks me.
Yes.
One entitled
Agreed.
little brat calling another entitled little brat.
Well,
If you've heard the things that Shedeur was saying.
Oh my God.
But Shedeur was having a bad day. He's had two jokes played on him in the same day. He gets
Stop.
He gets the prank phone call.
Yeah.
And then he gets drafted by the
I
Browns.
knew you were going to say
Yes.
that.
Dude's
I
having
will
a
not
bad day.
condone this blasphemous information.
We're Browns fans. Thank you.
Sorry.
Go Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Falcons, the organization, they've been issued a $250,000 fine,
Yep.
and then Jeff Ulbrich, he was fined $100,000 himself.
And they should appeal that.
I think the Falcons should.
I'll tell you why.
But-
yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the father should be held. I think so too. He left his
Well, that's a
iPad
21-year-old dude.
Yep.
He's grown.
Yep. He's out
So
of
it's
his
not like it was
father's
a
grasp.
teenager.
open. Yeah, but the father left that sensitive information open for other people to see.
But he's
and
grown.
That's the only bit of blame that I get. But that's a careless mistake.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be fined $100,000 for that. I don't know. Maybe you can say make the argument that the reason they gave him these numbers in the first place is so that kind of thing didn't happen. So yeah, he's responsible in some way. But I don't know if that's the reason that they're fining him. I don't know if they said specifically why. It's the association with his son. If it was somebody else that found it, are they gonna? If it was some strange kid found it and did that, are they still going to fine him?
Well, no, the NFL said that they failed to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of an NFL draft.
Then I can kind of understand that. I thought it was because it was his son that did it.
Okay.
But, you know,
I'm sure there's like strict rules that go along with, everything that you do with your job there.
I'm sure the kid's cut off for a while financially.
Oh my God! If that was my kid, and they caused me to get fined $100,000,
strangulation.
Oh yeah.
That's the only answer. Death by strangulation, because.
Yeah.
And then now the Ulbrich family is working with organizations to participate in community service initiatives. It's a bunch of bullshit.
It is.
Well, they got to mop up the spilled milk.
Oh
so,
my God.
Can we get the NFL to film it while he does it, so we can run it someplace? The funny thing for me, and this is why I have a little less, because I felt really bad about Shedeur, because I don't follow football very, very closely, but I talk to people who do. Take this with a grain of salt, because I got some of this from Ricky, our pal here at the school,
our program director.
And but he follows these things closer to, and there's a theory. The coaches didn't want to take him because Deion Sanders, his dad, was saying that Shedeur should go to only one of like 6 or 7 teams in the league, and there should be space made available for him to coach his son when he goes.
Well, he's a coach. He's a coach of the college. He's a college coach
now.
Yeah,
but but if his son goes someplace, he wants to be there to coach him.
Well, that's not how that works.
Well, in his world, he feels like they're going to make it happen because he's Deion Sanders.
This is why people were saying, well, we're not, we're taking his kid off the board. And there was a theory that throughout the league, they were telling no teams to take him, and go have him go completely undrafted.
Wow.
And now again, that's alleged. That's somebody speaking. I don't know where he got the information.
I've heard that too. I've heard that from plenty of places. On like ESPN and things like that. No, he was supposed to be a first-round draft pick.
Why would you take this guy? He seems like a nightmare out of the gate. He was at one of the press conferences. Quote: he said, "If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me." End quote. And apparently he's been ripped by all these people that, because they have to go through the interview process where you see the prospect, they'll fly into town and they'll wine and dine you and do all that stuff. And apparently he was the worst formal interview, according to an NFL assistant, called him the worst formal interview that assistants had ever experienced.
Yeah.
And apparently that is not the only person that feels that way.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, prank phone call, not so bad.
Oh, no, I still feel bad because even though, say he doesn't interview good, say he is, full of himself or whatever, he has still worked his whole life to get to this point where he's going to be drafted into the NFL. He can't be a shitty football player. He's got to be exceptional if he's going to be drafted.
I think if you're a good football player prospect and you're not an a-hole, you don't get people trying to do prank phone calls on you.
I think his dad had everything to do with no one wanting to draft him. So
when you act like your dad and you're
that's probably why he acts like that.
You're Deion Mini-Me, then of course you're going to get that. I mean, he's seen, and he said this in the press conference. He said, "You think we care about what people think about us? I've seen this happen to my dad for years." And I'm like, well, you've seen it happen. Why are you following down that path? You know how hard a road Deion Sanders, Mr. Showtime, has had. Why would you put yourself through that?
Well, I think this experience has probably humbled him. I
hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, he's a young kid.
So that first paycheck comes in, and then,
well, he made millions in college, so.
Well, there you go. So this explains a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of counter that. I don't think he's going to change much at all. It's just a phone call at this point.
I think the kid that did the prank phone call was a punk.
I think being on the Browns will humble him.
Yes, if anything.
Definitely does.
First season.
Go Browns. All right.
Oh, sorry. Go Browns.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Well, speaking of punks, it is now time for Trump Tales.
What a segue. Beautiful. Dun, da, da, da.
Donald Trump has thrown his hat, possibly a very red one, into the holy ring, joking that he should be the next pope after being asked who should succeed Pope Francis. Naturally, he picked himself as a top candidate because who else but Trump could lead the Catholic Church without being, a Catholic.
Oh.
Despite the small issue of not being a priest, Trump still somehow angled for the top job, possibly hoping his bright blue suit at the Pope Francis funeral was enough to sway the College of Cardinals via sheer fashion. And since he's already planning a Trump 2028 comeback in the political world, who's to say he's not eyeing a Vatican City as the next mega stronghold? Stranger things have happened.
I mean, can't you become a priest online? I think you can do that if you try.
You know what? I would be perfectly okay with Trump becoming the Pope if it meant he was leaving America.
Absolutely. Agreed.
This explains the mass amount of people, inquiries, Baptist, Protestant, Jewish, about conversion at this point.
Come on over.
Yeah.
And I know he said he was only joking.
He was not.
I was going to say, I guaranteed in his mind, he probably is thinking I could really be a Pope.
He probably is. And
After his 17th term as president.
Yes.
Exactly. 17. It's going to make it.
That's the number.
If he doesn't have to be a law-abiding citizen to be the president of the United States, then why would he have to be Catholic to be the Pope?
That's right.
He doesn't care. He doesn't follow any rules. He makes his own
Rules? Those
are illegal.
That's right. Oh my God.
So they wouldn't have to, because it would be weird to actually try to vote him in and see tan-colored smoke coming from the Sistine Chapel.
Insane.
Orange-colored smoke.
Orange-colored smoke, yeah. What would we call him? Your orangeness?
Oh my God. Did you, either of you, see the ABC News special with the first 100 days of the presidency with Terry Moran on ABC News?
I saw bits and pieces.
That's all you needed to see.
I am going to have to watch the whole thing.
Oh my God. It's hilarious.
I'm sure it is.
If you watch 5 minutes of it, you've watched the whole thing, because all he does is repeat himself. And this was Biden's issue with the economy. And this was Biden's, we inherited Biden's war. This is Biden's war. And he blamed Biden for everything.
Yes.
It was bad. He's just repeating every single thing about the and by the way, tough it out. Tough it out. The economy is going to be fine again. He's all of this.
And, he doesn't live in reality.
No.
But he really wouldn't give straight answers to Terry. Like you said, he was blaming everything on Joe. And then when Terry asked him about Pete Hegseth and if he believed in Pete 100%, Trump said, that was a stupid question. You can't believe in anybody 100%. And he's like, I'm not even 100% sure that this interview is we're gonna finish this interview. And then Terry Moran's like, oh yes, we are.
And then they called it the wide shot of the million things surrounding them, the cameras and all the boom microphones and everything. So yeah, they're gonna finish that interview.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch the whole.
Oh my God, it's
Terry
hilarious.
Moran, I swear to God, I felt bad for him.
He told Terry it was an honor that Terry was interviewing him, an honor for Terry that he was interviewing Trump. And he's like, I don't even know who you are.
That's why I chose you.
And that's why I chose you.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who you are. Moran has been there for years. Everybody knows him.
He's been at ABC since 1997.
Yeah.
Such an asshole.
Yeah.
He is an asshole.
Poor Terry, drew the short straw and then gets insulted on top of it.
Yeah.
This poor guy,
That
but he
sucks.
pulled it. he pressed him. He did,
He did.
He did his job. Okay,
big
good.
time. He was great.
I'm gonna have
He
to
was
watch the
actually
whole
great.
thing now. Then.
So I wasn't sure if he was the right guy
funny.
to do the interview, and then I saw him. I'm like, no, he's better than the one that normally covers the White House, because the other one would have probably blew up at him.
Yeah.
But Terry was very even keeled and got his questions in, and
Terry Moran with his fake news.
That is.
which he said right in front of him.
Yeah.
Why do you say this? Why do you not talk about this part? And why do you not talk about that one?
Yeah, he was telling him, you
so
should be asking me this question.
He's
And
teaching him. Yeah, he's telling him how to do the interview the whole time.
I'm sure,
hysterical.
I'm sure Trump will be suing ABC News next week. So.
Well, of course, because everything they do is illegal too.
Yeah.
I was looking stuff up about him being the Pope, and I'm like, this guy's just doubling down, because it's hard to remember with all the executive orders he had put out there.
Yeah.
But he had an executive order to eradicate the so-called anti-Christian bias, and another one to create the White House Faith Office.
Oh my gosh.
He's bringing religion back to the country.
No.
There's no religion in this country at all.
No.
Just watch
In
the
God we
evangelists on
trust.
Saturday mornings.
Yeah. And I consider myself a Christian, and I wouldn't say a religious person, but I'm spiritual. And I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing what you believe with other people, but you cannot, you can't tell someone else how to live their life. You just
Exactly.
can't. You can't do that.
I just had this conversation an hour ago.
Yeah.
Nope. You love and like and believe what you love, like, and believe, and let me do the same.
Yeah, and like, who's to say I'm right, and who's to say you're right, or this
Exactly.
person's right, or I'm wrong, or whatever.
Just have that convo.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Because
leave it up to him.
Because this is not one of those countries where you have to be a Muslim to live in the country.
Yeah.
You have to be a Buddhist to live here. You know,
Right.
You know, you can't. This is not that world. It was started that way.
Yeah.
It was started that way. Freedom of religion.
And you can't take it upon yourself to just make somebody something that they're not.
You cannot. Unless you're Trump, then you can do what you want to do.
Okay. Apparently so.
Yeah, the White House Faith Office.
Goodness.
Keep that in mind.
Insane.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be the leader of that.
Separation of church and state. Yeah, it's right in your backyard. You know, right into the Rose Garden from
Did
the
you
Faith Office.
see it on the White House lawn? They have all these stand-up pictures, like banners of all the illegal immigrants that they've arrested
No, they did
and
not.
sent back. It says like arrested at the top, and then there's a
No,
picture
they
of
did
them,
not.
and then like
They're
what their
lining the
crime was, or yes,
They have a spot where all the press has to do their reports from.
Right.
And so they strategized and put them right behind
backdrop
as a
of them.
backdrop. And these are like those cheap lawn signs during election time that you see. That the cheap versions of those going. They're not even a good look.
Somebody's gonna hurt them.
oh, it's so tacky
These blurry
looking.
I'm
pictures.
just over it because I have not seen this, and I am just.
You've got to watch.
These
At
blurry
a
pictures
loss for
of people, these really bad pictures that have been transferred
And he
on there
did
just to
this
get them
on
out there.
purpose.
And they did that on
Bad.
Oh, of course
He's a
they did.
bad man.
Because
Yes.
look, it's that finally thousands of dollars on that finely manicured lawn with
Yep.
this crap on front of it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what
Like
it
a
was.
junkyard.
And then Terry talked about it when he was introducing the interview, talked about, and you can see behind me, he said that one step short of him saying that moron decided to do this.
I'm
as
sure
well.
he wanted to say
Well,
it.
I mean, I guess it's okay that they have the signs up because they had the Tesla Auto Mall there too.
Oh well, yeah.
So
it
goes hand in hand.
all matches.
Oh, and did you hear the board of Tesla is trying to replace Elon Musk as the CEO?
No.
Oh yeah, they're in search of a new CEO. I don't know the full details. I'll find out.
They haven't seen him in a while. That's
Yeah.
why.
Right.
We
He's
forgot
trying to
about
figure
him.
out how he can stand at White House. That's why he's so preoccupied.
Yeah, because he knows, haven't heard about him from the White House. No news is not good news in that place.
Exactly.
So, they're not talking about him. He's on his way out
we
because
should
they
be
asked him.
concerned.
They asked Trump about him recently, and the answers have not been that exciting like they were when he first started. So that's always a
He is sick of his shit. That's what that is.
yeah. Well, he doesn't want to ever admit he's wrong, but he's never going to
Right.
say that
Thank you.
we've got a bad
Thank you.
situation going on here. But
Yep.
he can't be too obvious about it either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is now time for Ronnie Cole's question of the day.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Oh, okay. So I have an easy one. I hope it's easy.
Okay.
I think it's easy. So, Don, I'm going to ask you first.
Me? Okay.
What song always guarantees to get you on the dance floor?
Because I'm a music nut,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of music, so I could mention songs that nobody would know, and I wouldn't want to do that. So a song that everybody kind of knows, I would say, is always a guaranteed put a smile on my face, make me want to shake my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Would be something like September by Earth, Wind and Fire. That is one
Okay.
of those.
Okay.
That is like a perfect song.
Okay.
Okay.
That is a perfect song
All right.
to me.
I love that
Anyway,
song.
it's so well produced. It comes from the era, peak of me loving music in the late 70s, that kind of thing. I started as a disco
Nice.
DJ, and
That's
Earth,
good
Wind and
music.
Fire is my favorite band.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder is my favorite singer. Yeah, I could pick 2 or 3 songs by him or Aretha
Mm-hmm.
Franklin or that. But yeah, I would say September by Earth, Wind and Fire.
All right. I'd say Fireball by Pitbull.
Okay.
Anything by Pitbull.
Anything by Pitbull.
Anything by
Okay.
Pitbull.
But that's
Yeah.
it's
It's like a modern disco, actually. It's like
Yeah.
I look at it that it kind of takes up where that music leaves off. We've had that conversation a million times.
I like Pitbull.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I didn't think about him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is the party. Period.
Yeah.
He makes everything better.
He does.
He can do.
I did
he
not even think about him.
He just did a song with John Bon Jovi.
He did.
He did a song with
He
Dolly
did.
Parton, the weird
He
version of
did.
9 to 5. He did a song with Tim McGraw. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. He's got a version,
I
a
tried
Yes,
so
yes.
dancey
hard.
version of that.
Can't rise
He
above it.
did.
He can make
Shout
anything
out
sound
to
cool.
Pitbull.
Well,
Because I'm a ghetto girl.
okay. All right, ghetto girl. What song would you pick?
So I was going to say the traditional ghetto girl response.
What is that?
Back that ass up by
that's a good one.
Juvenile.
That's a good one.
I would try a combination of that and Get Low.
Yeah.
You back it up and go down.
Yeah, I didn't like it low as much as I probably should have. But the song that is guaranteed to get me on the dance floor is Wipe Me Down.
What is that?
Oh, Wipe Me Down?
Who's
by Boosie?
No.
Lil Boosie?
No, I'll listen to it.
I'm going to have to play it for you.
Okay.
So it's a song. It's
And you'll
called
have to
Wipe
be
Me
wiped
Down.
by the end of it, apparently.
It's called Wipe Me Down, and it's about him and how fresh and nice he looks when he goes out to the club with his gas tank on E.
Oh, no.
You spent all that money on the suit.
A good song, and he looks amazing, but he has no gas in his car.
Yeah.
But it's a really good like club banger.
So they can pull the bitches until they find out he
That's
got no
right. They can't go nowhere.
Can't go home with them because ain't nobody going.
Signed the wrong record contract. So, this is the few hits I had was it.
That was it. That was it. Wipe me down.
Money's already spent on the suit and the car, but not the gas.
Not the gas.
Should have rethought that.
Oh, how can people live their life like that?
People do it
I can't.
every day.
Like at half a tank, I get nervous.
Can I get five?
too.
Can I get five? Can I get $5? I just need to get to the corner.
That's my daughter. She'll be like, she'll text
That
me and be like,
drives me nuts.
can I get $5? I'm like, for what? I need gas. I'm like, $5 in gas? Like, that's
That drives
nothing.
me
Gallon and a half,
Yeah.
if that.
If that.
Depending on. But according
So
to Trump,
nervous.
the gas prices are down to $1.94 somewhere in the country.
He's a liar.
Where?
In that interview.
At the is that the Tesla place?
Maybe.
Oh, they're electric. They don't use gas. Do they? I don't know.
Free gas he gets as president,
Well, I
Right,
just paid
exactly.
$3.19 a gallon.
Same here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I have a van, so you figure out how little money I have in my account.
Oh my goodness.
gracious.
I'm sure if you let your tank go down to E, you're probably spending $70-$80 to fill it up.
You are exactly right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Once a week.
My little $30 takes me a whole 7 days.
Yeah, I can spend about 30 and it'll get me through a week.
I won't be buying a van anytime soon, will I?
I'm trying to get more gigs to make it pay off for me.
Yes.
All
You
right.
getting married? Okay, so
actionproductions.net.
plug,
There you go.
plug.
Plug it.
It is
We
not-
need a plug sound effect.
Oh, okay. I'll get one.
You can probably get that from the Diddy library.
Oh my God. Not that kind of plug.
Oh, sorry.
The diddler.
The diddler. Oh my God.
It's hot.
It is hot in here.
I am so sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't a second ago.
Oh, goodness.
Take off all your clothes. That would get me on the
That's
dance
a good
floor.
one too.
That is.
That's
Yeah.
a good one too.
Yeah, Nelly is one of those guys, Nelly and Flo Rida.
I was going to say Flo Rida.
Flo Rida is so good.
Yeah.
Y'all are,
He is.
y'all are good.
Nelly and Flo Rida, they kind of cut from the same cloth, those two.
Y'all are good.
It's all party music.
Mm-hmm.
It is now time to board the crazy train.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. That'll get me.
I don't know that one. Oh,
don't know
go
that
ahead. No.
It's a hard rock classic.
I know who Ozzy is, but I don't know that song.
Yeah, if you heard it, you would know it.
Do-do, 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 do-do.
Oh, yeah, I do know that.
Crazy.
Ah,
That's how
the
it
name of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a people.
Okay, go.
Flying
Sorry.
High Again is my favorite Ozzy
Sorry,
song.
JoJo.
It's okay.
Okay.
A 22-year-old Amazon delivery driver in Louisiana has turned himself in after allegedly stealing a birthday cake from a home. Security footage showed Kennard LeBeau delivering an Amazon package to a home. After completing the delivery, he was seen entering an open garage and taking a cake from the refrigerator. The cake was meant for a Sweet 16 celebration for a teen named Carly. Following the release of the security footage by police, tips from the community helped identify LeBeau as a suspect.
Now, what would he do?
I'm like, out of all the things you can steal out of a garage, you're going to
Well,
take a cake.
I mean,
A
cake-
Sweet 16 cake of that.
Well, the cake wasn't Prime eligible. That's why. So I felt like you needed to take it back.
Maybe he was
He had
hungry.
to- He was, but the cake,
They don't get tips,
you know, that's
these
for
drivers.
a
so,
special occasion.
And now you're about to go to jail over a cake.
Over a cake.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I heard the driver was like 21 trying to relive his 16 years.
Maybe.
Or something. It could have been
Maybe.
that. Maybe he wants to be Carly. Maybe he wants to.
That's a possibility too.
So I did a little bit of work. Mm-hmm. So I came up with some Amazon slogans.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
To go.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Amazon, from our fridge to yours, even if it's not ours.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like it.
Amazon, where the shipping is fast and the cake is optional.
I like that one too.
Amazon Prime, you get a package, we get dessert.
That's the best.
Okay? We're not done yet. Amazon, we take the cake so you don't have to.
Oh my God.
I'm wondering
be
if
so
Jimmy Kimmel is looking for writers.
Yes. Hit him
There you
up.
go. No, I thought, but seriously, I mean, those drivers probably, they don't get tips. They work extra
don't.
hard. So you probably said, well, this is mine now. He's taking the cake.
Yeah, but you
Something
have
stupid.
to know in this day and age that 9 people out of 10 have security cameras around their house.
Why are you stealing out their refrigerator?
Exactly.
anyways?
Yeah, especially we see all that footage.
A whole
People-
cake.
Like steal a lawnmower or a chainsaw or something. Like
Or
something,
a Coke.
something you can resell.
Or a bottle of water.
Yes.
You stole a whole cake. Like how?
Because practically you can't hide the lawnmower or something anywhere. If your truck is full, how are you going to take the lawnmower?
Oh, I'm
You
sure.
put the cake in the front seat, but you
Oh,
can't.
that's true.
you
It was
know.
probably gone before he made it back to the warehouse.
Yeah, the next few packages had some frosting on them, obviously,
Right.
Oh my
right.
God.
as he was delivering them to other houses.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Next car in the crazy train. In Rockport, Massachusetts, residents are facing an unusual dilemma. A polluted, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. A polluted woodpecker has reportedly caused damage to more than 20 vehicles in the area. Oh my God. Oh my
First
God.
thing that came to mind for me too.
For weeks, locals have dealt with broken windshields and side mirrors attributed to the large bird.
Really?
It's believed the woodpecker is the culprit behind at least 25 damaged vehicles. The polluted woodpecker is notable for its size, resembling a crow, and features striking white stripes along its neck and bright red crest.
Man, if it's as big as a car, he can pack whatever piece of that car he wants to if he's that big.
I
Wow.
just feel like I
Those
picture
are
like
massive.
I've
I feel
never
like this
seen
big
one.
giant. Me either, but like I just feel like it's a bird that's like 20 feet like
I would
wide.
probably faint.
But how are you pecking at a car? Like I would think.
Why
it would
is
be,
he pecking the car?
Yeah, I think it would still be in your nature to peck at wood.
Yeah.
I will tell you what one theory I looked up
Okay.
is that they see the reflection and they think it's another rival bird coming after their territory, so they attack it to defend their turf. That's one of the theories I saw when I was looking this
Okay.
up.
Okay, well,
And
that
so
makes
it makes
sense.
and they're big and aggressive, and you're right. I mean, I hadn't seen one of course that was my first impression of woodpeckers.
Woody.
Is Woody,
Yeah.
and he's much cuter than the average small woodpecker. But then I saw one on it was Wild Kingdom or something like that, and it was a woodpecker. And I'm like, oh, I'm interested to see what these are. Massive. I'm like, get the hell away from me.
Yeah.
Really?
These
I've
things,
never
you're not
seen one.
pecking
a
at my
real one.
wood at all.
Oh my God.
away from me.
Yes.
Wouldn't pecking at a car like hurt his beak?
Yes.
Okay.
And then especially if he's a Tesla mobile.
Tesla, you said it wrong.
Slur
Huh?
It's Tesla.
with an R.
Tesla mobile. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Excuse
that's
me.
how Trump pronounces
Of
it.
course.
Tesla.
Sorry, I missed that episode. But yeah, if you see a bird with a bent beak,
He's the culprit. Lock
he's
him
the
up.
culprit, but Woody Woodpecker, by the way, did take to Twitter to say he does not represent the rest of us.
Thank God.
Oh, Woody. Good old Woody.
The Woody Woodpecker Show
Oh my God.
That was good TV.
Oh my God.
really wasn't.
Thank you. Thank you, Don.
Those cartoons are awful.
Thank you for that. memory,
I
Don.
watched them years later because you watch anything as a kid. You go back and you watch Bugs Bunny's brilliant, all those Top Cat, all the Flintstones, all those shows. I said, "Oh, Woody Woodpecker's on. This is the dumbest show." Yes,
I can't remember what Woody
running around
Woodpecker
and
is
doing
about.
stupid things and pecking people in the head.
Okay.
And okay, that took 5 minutes to write. 20 About 2 months to animate.
Yeah.
Because those things took forever.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the good old days.
That's right.
Last car on the crazy train.
Woo woo.
A Chinese college student living in Japan had to be rescued from Mount Fuji twice in 1 week after losing his crampons during an ascent outside the official climbing season. Then
His what? He lost his what?
crampons. So that's like his a crampon is like the gear you use to like you stick it in the ground to like help you climb
That's
up
a
the mountain.
technical official
Yeah.
name for it. Got it.
Because I had to look that up because I'm like,
It's
what are
like
they talking
a
about?
spike.
Yeah. And then he developed altitude sickness while attempting to recover his lost phone and backpack.
Well.
Both incidents required helicopter
Whoa.
rescues, first from 12,000 feet and then from 9,842 feet.
Gosh.
Absolutely not.
He better not climb his ass back up there.
No. And if I left my phone 12,000 feet in a mountain,
It would be
it's
there.
staying there.
It would be
I'm
there.
going to the phone store and getting me a new
and
phone.
getting a new phone.
Yeah.
Well, it's the drop zippered pouch with all the kilos of coke that he left behind too. That's went back because he has to either sell those or return them to the
Yes.
drug lord he got them from.
Or he'll
That's
be
the only
dead.
reason I'm going back.
But
If my life
death.
depended on it for that
Nothing but
reason.
death can keep me from
But
it.
he must have recovered his phone because he had to call the helicopter to come pick
To
him
come
up.
rescue. Oh my God. I was watching a video and I tried to go find it, but Instagram and whatnot,
Yeah.
it went away.
Yeah.
But this girl drops her phone or it got sucked into the toilet on the airplane. And her friend stuck her hand
No.
in that feces infested. I was over
No.
it. But before I could get to the end of the video, it went away. So I was like,
Okay.
okay.
And not to mention that the treatment formula they put down there to kind of
break
break it up.
Yeah.
Your hand's in the middle of that too, so your hand is actually you see skin, bones, and brown, which is pretty bad.
That is so disgusting.
But
And
people,
it's dangerous.
Yeah, because people listen. It was an epidemic at one point. That's why the phones now are water resistant because people kept dropping them in the toilet because they were busy watching cat videos while taking a dump. And then they would get off the toilet and they'd be like, "Oh, that's soap! Oh my goodness! Let me go get it. I
Idiot.
got to see how that cat thing ends up."
I never take my phone into the bathroom unless like I'm waiting for a
always do.
phone call.
I do. My phone has never fell in the tub, toilet, or the sink.
Me either.
I am the most.
I'm excited for
The
you.
most.
You said that with the kind of pride,
Because
when the kid graduates or something. That's my kid.
If it falls, that's it. If it's in the toilet, I'm gonna have to call somebody to come get it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
sticking my hand.
Like
in there.
tweezers or like one of those, gripper things to get it out.
No, Don.
Right by the
No.
toilet, right with the plunger and the
No.
and the brush and then the tongs.
No.
Have you ever dropped your phone in the toilet? Zach?
No, I have not. I've never dropped it in the toilet.
I don't believe him.
I'm pretty good.
He knew how to get it out of there.
Get
the tongs.
True, but you can come to my house. You'll see there are no tongs by the toilet.
Okay.
I'm tongless. But I've dropped it in water before. I've dropped it in the sink.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're learning way too much about me.
Okay.
So if you do take the phone into the bathroom with you, and if you're sitting down, at some point you have to use the toilet paper, which means you have to put the phone somewhere.
Yeah.
So I foolishly put it right in the sink, which is right next to the toilet. So sometimes I've forgotten to put it in the sink, and I go to turn the water on in the sink. So I've done that before.
Okay.
But no, I have never done that. Dropped it directly into the bowl.
Okay.
No, I have not had to do the hand grab of shame.
Do the duty.
Yeah, never do that.
The Diddy duty.
I was going to say the diddler.
Did he?
The Diddy duty.
Yes, he did.
Well, that is all we have for you this week on the Real Talk lineup.
You learned way too much about us.
Yeah.
More than you've needed to.
That's right.
It's okay.
You can check us out at realtalklineup.com and on Facebook and Instagram at Real Talk Lineup. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our show on your favorite streaming platform.
We would like to know, by the way, on social media, do you take your phone into the bathroom?
Yes.
And would
Please
you
comment.
and would you whip your hat off at a Beyonce show and beat the crap out of some other girl? And would you make a prank phone call to a guy who portrayed himself as an a-hole leading up to the draft?
I would.
Yeah.
Well,
See now.
Now
you
that
remember at
I
the
have
beginning
all
of
the
this?
pieces.
Right? At the beginning
It
of this,
still
you were-
doesn't make it nice, but You know, if he's an a-hole, you know,
This is not a nice
That's what he
show.
gets.
So
It's not a nice show.
that's what you get for being an a-hole.
All right, realtalklineup.com.
It's been real.
thank you for coming again and having me again. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.